A regional government wants to attract investment. So they do what the town next door did. And what that town did was copy the one before it. Nobody in the chain is being lazy. They're being reasonable. When you don't have the data to build your own view of the world, borrowing someone else's is the sensible move. But here's the quiet problem. The town you copied built its strategy for a world that by the time you copy it, has already moved on. There's a name for what happens next too. When every region copies whichever neighbor looks successful, they all end up racing along the same narrow track, competing harder and harder over the same strategy, the same industry, the same incentives. Everyone works longer, spends more, and the region's actual position barely moves. That's involution, effort without advantage. The way out isn't a better copy. It's the opposite move. Start from what this particular region actually has that no neighbor does, and build the strategy from there. 0 to 1, not 1 to 100. Real progress was never about exporting someone else's playbook faster than the next town. It's about activating the edge that was only ever yours. This is the second obstacle we keep meeting: decision-making blind spots. Most local economic strategies are built on past experience or on imitating whoever looks successful nearby. Not because the people making these decisions lack judgment, because they've never been given anything better to work with than instinct and precedent. The trouble is, global value chains don't hold still long enough for precedent to keep up. A supply route that made sense 2 years ago, a sector everyone was chasing before the market moved on, an incentive package copied from a competitor who was solving a completely different problem. You can build an entire investment strategy this way, and it will feel confident the whole time. Confidence was never the missing ingredient. Insight was. We've watched this play out the same way, over and over. Significant public money and years of effort spent attracting the wrong industry, courting the wrong partner, building for a version of the global economy that had already quietly changed. Here's what we think is genuinely different now. Not more meetings, not more consultants restating what everyone already believes. Data that actually tracks how global value chains are shifting in real time. And a think tank's judgment to read what that data is actually saying, rather than what would be convenient for it to say. In practice, that means something specific. We help local governments build their own economic think tankers. People trained to go looking for the deep resources and underrated assets sitting inside their own region, the ones nobody had put in a report before. Their work becomes a capstone policy paper put directly in front of the mayor or whoever runs that local government, something to spark a policy, not just inform one. AI's role in that is quieter than it sounds. It helps that hidden asset get seen in the first place and helps say it succinctly, turning what could be 100 pages of raw data into the handful of insights actually worth a mayor's attention. The two together do something imitation never could. They tell you what's true now, not what was true when the last town made its decision. So here's a question worth asking before the next strategy document gets written. Is this choice built on evidence, or is it just what looked like a good idea somewhere else a few years ago? Most of the time, if we're honest, it's still the copy, not the evidence. And that's exactly what has to change. Not more imitation, but decisions built on evidence. Your region's own evidence, read in real time. I'm Raymond. See you in episode 3.